the one and only Logic DGC of Have Nots Entertainment, and I'm here inviting you to kick it with me as I spend a little time with Bunky on Tea Time with Bunky tomorrow, June 20th, right? June 20th, yeah, at 7 p.m. The link should be somewhere around there for the stream, or I'm gonna hit you with it later. Cheers. Hope to see you there.
Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. This is message. Hi, Dan. All right.
Welcome to Tea Time with
Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. This is super recent. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I missed you guys. I really did. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I would like to thank all of my YouTube followers, Facebook followers and subscribers. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. Those that have been on this journey, thank you for taking it with me. I appreciate you all. Those that are going to catch this after the fact, because most people catch it after the fact, welcome. Make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe. You can catch Tea Time with Bunky every Thursday live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can catch it on Zeno FM and syndication on Thursdays at 8 a.m. globally, on Culture Shock Radio, which is in Canada, Radio Rockbox, Radio Facetto, New Mexico, WAP the Music FM, which is in Guadeloupe, Caribbean, Gnarly FM, which is in Ecuador, and on Sundays at 12 p.m. on Confidence Radio. These are all on Zeno FM with additional online supports by Radio Music Box. If that was too much for you, just go back, download the VGN, Village Global Network app, and which is on Android and iOS, and you can catch everything then. As I always say, a reminder, this is a very important election year. Make sure you're registered. If it's not too late, make sure you're registered to get out there and vote, because basically our lives are at stake for the most part. If you don't know about Project 2025, make sure you go look that up. That plays a big part in this election. It talks about what is going to come if he who remains nameless is put into office. So just go look into that. Project 2025, know your local candidates, know your state candidates, because, we see all these things, these advertisements or whatever the case may be, and everybody's bashing each other. So you don't really know. So dive deep, dig in, find out who is who and what is going on. So my guest tonight, after I got all that out of the way, is Mr. LogicDGC. A little bit about Mr. Logic. He was born in the Bronx. He is a multifaceted artist whose journey embodies resilience, transformation, and relentless determination. Starting his rap career as a joke, as he said, started first as a joke during his high school years in upstate New York, LogicDGC quickly discovered his passion and talent for music. His early beginnings with the group Ice Tray laid the foundation for his future in the industry. Despite facing significant legal challenges and serving 4 years in prison for carjacking, which he said it's a part of his journey, you guys, so no judgment. LogicDGC emerged stronger and more focused than ever. Upon his release, he formed Jail Break Recordz, achieving notable success with a series of mixtapes. From 2004 to 2008, his album mixtape Jail Break Recordz presents Logic the Ghetto Celeb featured collaborations and shout-outs from industry legends such as Lord Tariq, Sonny SZA, Pitbull, Lil Raz, and Capone C. And if I'm saying these wrong, I know he's going to correct me because I'm not very familiar. Logic relocated to Newark, where he expanded his talents into acting and multimedia, eventually managing the radio station Rejects Worldwide. His life took a pivotal turn in 2018 when he discovered he had a daughter. Moving to Orlando to connect with her, LogicDGC faced the heartbreaking reality of her mother disappearing after he was granted visitation rights. Despite these challenges, he continues to honor his daughter through his music while navigating the legal complexities of reuniting with her. In 2019, Logic opened a multimedia facility in Orlando, offering services such as recording studios, podcasting studios, an event hall, and custom clothing. He remains dedicated to his craft, currently working on an album short film titled Chronicles of a Regular Degula, okay, which includes the touching single for his daughter, Half of Me, Jaylanis. Additionally, he is preparing to release Old to the New, the Lost Two-Time Collection and Collaboration album, LogicDGC and Friends. His story is one of unwavering perseverance, creative evolution, and a father's enduring love. His journey continues to inspire many, proving that with resilience and dedication, one can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. So without further ado, that was a lot. Welcome. That was a lot.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being on. There's just so many places I want to go with you. I don't even know where to start. So we'll start with the basics. So tell me and everybody about your early years and what it was like growing up, in the Bronx. And the Bronx is rough.
Yeah. I come, from a first generation Puerto Ricans, I guess, in America, that were born here. My grandparents on both sides came from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And so I'm a child of first, I guess second generation first generation Americans or whatever. And so they come from Harlem. That's their main real spot. My mom actually is from the Bronx, but my dad was in Harlem, and that's where they kind of congregated in Mount Sinai. And it was just rough for them in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. Trying to make it. My dad got into it, had addiction problems and all kind of stuff. And I kind of grew up in that environment, you know what I mean? It was pretty, my dad was like a functioning addict, you could say, for lack of a better word, and my mom was just so involved with him, I'm saying that, it brought her down,
Understandable. Okay, I get it. How did you first you said you started off rapping like as a joke. You didn't take it serious in high school.
Yeah.
So when did it really hit you that, okay, this is something that I think I want to pursue? When did that it not become a game anymore?
Well, during that time, there was a few rappers that had ice in their name, like Vanilla Ice, Ice-T, Ice Cube. So I was just having fun, and I called myself Ice Pick, and I made an imaginary group called Ice Tray, and I had a partner called Dry Ice. And we had a couple songs, and people loved them. They were like, "Yo, you're really good, man. You should really, think about writing real music and stuff like that." And so I did, and I just started, on that journey.
Like, how old were you? Were you still in high school, or were you out of high school?
I was 13. I was probably 15 when I started really taking it seriously and, writing songs on a regular basis and performing and that kind of things, and, recording stuff on the karaoke's back then, because we didn't have, studios and everything yet. And, stuff like that. And we were putting out little music and people were loving it. Like I've had people from that time era, that came a little bit after that, after I did my little thing during my early years, that were like, "Yo, you're the reason why I rap." He was like, "You inspired me, man. Like I still have your first CD." And he said it, and talking about even the Ice Tray stuff, I was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
Well, speaking of that, let me apologize first of all for that song that went with your introduction. As I was listening to it, I'm like, this is pretty garbage. But like I told you, I had to grab something really quick. So, okay. So you started with the Ice Pick. You came up with the Ice Pick in your early teens. Came up with that name, which is kind of rough. Like Ice Pick, that's pretty rough for a teenager. Yeah. So how did all of that, your Ice Tray and all your icing, how did that help you develop into the artist that you are today?
Well, I've always been a writer. Like I've always wanted to, like I've always watched TV, and I could tell, as a kid, like 6, 7 years old, I would be like directing it in my head and the scenes and things like that. So it was just an extension. Doing the music was just an extension of that love to write, and and mix words with music and paint a picture. All my songs, they're not real. I'm not really a. If you look at all my music, I'm not really ever a party guy. Like, you're not gonna go to a club and probably hear my music. My music's not for that, really. My music is, and it used to be for thugs and stuff like that, because I lived that life and I went through all of that stuff. As I was slowly getting to find out who I am.
Okay.
At one point it was, but right now my music is for people that want to like contemplate on life, on themselves, on the world, that want to take long drives, and maybe cry a little bit, you know what I mean, and feel a little something in their soul, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where my music really falls. It's grown in sexy stuff, not really sexy in the sense of like sexuality, but more of like sexy for the mind, you know what I'm saying? That you can actually see what I'm talking about, you can picture it, you can empathize, maybe relate with it, sympathize, be able to really understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And you can with your song, with that song. Now, how did you go from starting out ice pick, you're in school, you're rapping or whatever? How did you become a carjacker? Like, how does that happen? Like,
it's just the street life period. It's just the poor mentality. A lot of people don't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? But when you're out here and you come from nothing, you know what I'm saying? And you're looking at life like, you're looking at everybody else and you're seeing grown-ups working hard and still not having really much for themselves, and you're looking all around you and you're just like, and then you see the people who do got it, or the people that are willing to go out there and do some things that are illegal,
mm-hmm.
And it just got caught up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually was not even thinking about anything, because if anything, I would hustle stuff. I'm able to hustle things a lot better than I am to do like violent things like that. But I ended up in Newark, New Jersey, which is the capital of carjacking. So you kind of like it becomes like you start meeting people, you start interacting with people that are putting thoughts in your mind. And I got at the moment I had a regular job, and there was a coworker there, we're making the same thing. He's got a big gold chain and he's got a Lexus in the front, and every day he's got new clothes and everything. And I'm just like, what's going on? What's all this about,
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you really want to get done? You want to know? And I was like, yeah, let me know, and I wanted to know. And that was the thing. He was like, yo, we could take cars and make money, and stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up doing almost 4 years in total, and for me, that was enough, like I didn't need another. And within there, I gained knowledge of self, a lot of knowledge of myself, and I would never want, like, I'm so totally nonviolent nowadays and everything like that. I don't believe in anything being done violently. If I'm able to talk about the government, if I'm able to talk about this, and that, and gangs and all this stuff, then, I have to check myself too,
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, you don't want nothing like that to happen to anybody ever. So, I think about that, and I got, not no more, but I have a mother and father and now a daughter, so, and a son.
One time was enough. One time was enough.
One time was enough. When I was in there, I read like 400, 500 books. I wrote books while I was in there. I wrote a bunch of music and songs and stuff like that. So, like, my time was really utilized, just being a better me, at the end of the day. I gained computer skills. I learned some carpentry skills, so, like, it was the beginning of me becoming an entrepreneur on my own, where I can generate money on my own.
Okay, so
Totally.
you actually then that situation had, well, before I say that, was this your first time? Did you get caught the first time, or was it multiple times?
It was the first time that I got, first time out, first time. Like I said, it's not my thing. I'm not really, that's not what I do. I don't, it's not, it was never my go-to in any form. It was just something that my eyes got too big, too quick, and I was looking at the possibility of big money and stuff like that.
and it just went downhill right away. And so that's it. Like literally 10 seconds cost me 4 years. That's how I kind of looked at it. You know what I'm saying? Because it took less than 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 10 seconds, and now I lose 4 years of my life, and I lose my gun rights, and I lost my voting rights for many years, and stuff, all of that stuff. But, you live and you learn.
Well, it sounds like it could have possibly, it was for the bad, but it worked out for your good.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense?
It could have ended up worse. So that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Like, because I was heading, I was willing to take risks. I looked at it like, I don't want to be a poor person all my life. I don't want to be a working person for 40 years, 50 years, on the clock, on somebody's clock, and having, vacations, 2-3 weeks vacation a year. I don't want that life. That life depressed me. Just thinking about it. And so I was willing to go out there, and if it meant, one quick come up, and then just move on from my life and do good, and and repent by giving back and stuff, I was willing to do it. Like I was like, what, I know it's messed up, and I can't justify it, but at the end of the day, if the way I looked at it was, hey, one thing could help, could snowball big things, because I do have big dreams to help people, and I have. That's what my whole Have Nots entertainment is basically about. It's my way. It's what I found that I'm able to do to help people.
Okay. Well, while you were there, like you said, you wrote music, you wrote a book, you read lots of books. So you educated yourself, and you took that bad experience and flipped it around. Because like we said, your life could be very different today.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that jewelry and the glitz and the glamour of that one time, that's all it takes. And a lot of people know that, they see all of the bling, right? And and then they see the average person out there working, and nobody wants to do that. Nobody out there, and then you can't even retire from Social Security and all this craziness. One thing, but it's not worth it.
But it's not. But it also should paint a light. I also want to say that there's a lot of good people that are in prison because of stupid mistakes like this that really, are not just criminal, crazy, bad people. Everybody in jail isn't that person. Desperate people do desperate things, and you can give yourself the desperation. You can place that on yourself in your own mind, Right.
Absolutely. There are people in there that are probably trying to provide for their families, or trying to, it's not, everything isn't for the bad. Like, I believe there are many people that are incarcerated, especially people of color are incarcerated that should not be.
Yeah. And it's really, they're just products of their environment. Like literally, like I never thought about carjacking somebody till I moved to Newark, New Jersey, which is the car capital, the carjacking capital of the world. Like you can easily, when you're desperate, poor, and young, you can easily be pulled into your environment. You know what I'm saying? You can easily be dragged into, hey man, you can snap this. Your world can change overnight. You don't have to, be dealing with things like this. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be, eating ramen noodle soups and living like this. You can literally overnight change your life. Who's not really going to take that? And I know there's a lot of people with great integrity, and and I don't even think I have bad integrity. Even then, I just think I was willing to risk it all in a way. You know what I'm saying? For the opportunity, I'm saying, we're in this world for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like we're living this thing for the first time here, as far as we know. We're learning as we go every day, and at those young ages, when you put people in certain places, that's how you get gang violence and people killing each other and writing music about it like nothing. It's just it's the path.
Right. Yeah, this life is really trial and error because we don't know what we're doing. We're trying to figure it out as we go along.
We are, and we try our best to learn from others, but in reality, you got to learn for yourself. At the end of the day.
Right. I mean, because you were working side by side with someone doing the same thing you were, but you're looking at him like, why do you have this and I don't have that? And what he's doing, and it ended up differently for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I totally get it. So, how long, because you told me the story of when you found out about your daughter, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell people a little bit about that, or do you want to jump over that before I get to the next question? Because it's kind of crazy. It doesn't
Yeah. So basically, um, it was like we were never a couple or anything like that. We were never it was just some people having grown up time,
Mhm.
and it wasn't after like a year after my daughter was already a year when she was like, hey. She actually had told me before that she had a baby, and I congratulated her. She sent me pictures. I didn't even have no clue. I was like, "Oh, okay, good for you." Like
Let
congratulations.
me ask you, how long were you out when this happened?
Oh, I came out in. I was done with it in 2003. I was
Oh,
big
okay.
done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and this is like we're talking probably right now 2015, 2016
Okay.
is when my daughter was born, 2016, and then I moved to Florida in 2018. But it was just like we weren't a couple. It was just like a booty thing, whatever if you want to call it that.
A night call, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after a year, my daughter's like, almost 2 years after it, she's like, hey, do you mind taking a DNA test? And I was like, sure. She was like, I think my daughter's yours. And now I'm looking at the picture she has sent me, and I'm like, yo, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, wait a second. So I took the DNA test, and sure enough, came back 99.99999989999 all the way.
So at any time during her pregnancy, did she mention that there could be a possibility that
No, not at all. She even had pictures of another guy holding her.
oh,
Yes. So I thought that was the father. I was like, oh, okay, good for them. Like happy family, good for you.
oh,
And then a year later, I get a call like, I guess maybe they did a DNA test. Maybe he was like, nah, this ain't my baby. Maybe he felt it and or whatever. I don't, I'm speculating there. But then she hits me up a year later, like, hey, um, do you mind taking a DNA test? I said, yeah, it came up. And so, I was just transitioning from Rejects Worldwide Radio. I had just left that and was starting to venture into my own Have Nots Entertainment.
mhm.
And over there, trying to, in Newark, New Jersey, was going to build a studio and everything over there. And I get that call. It happens. I tell her, you know what? I'm not even going to start this. I'm going to go ahead, pack up, get everything going. And as soon as I can get a job down there, I'll be down there. But all she seems, I guess, I think what she really wanted was just to tell me not move, just and pay like child support. And she would have been like happy of doing like little phone calls and little, because that's what she does with her other
Okay.
kid's father. Like they just talk on the phone and that's it. And, when they see him, it's not that kind of thing. But because she told me one time, like, why you can't just be like this guy? You know what I mean? Like he don't bother me for nothing and nothing. I'm like, I'm bothering you. Like I'm just talking about trying to be in my daughter's life. I was just bothering you. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That makes no sense at all. You would think she would want you to be involved, especially it's a little girl who needs a father in her life. But when you find out, okay, now I have a little baby girl, right? You see the pictures of her, you know what she looks like. What did that feel like? What did that feel like when you're looking at her pictures and now you know she is as your lyrics say, how does that feel?
Amazing. Honestly, I have a son. He's 21 years old right now. He's in the Navy. Shout out to Marcus. Love you. And having her, like I had custody of him from 6 months old to 15, and I moved to Florida. He didn't want to come down here. So, but we had a pretty good relationship, but he had some issues because his mom wasn't really in the picture and stuff like that. And there was like there was wars going on, and I feel bad for him for all of that stuff. But with her, the instant like she saw me, it was like a connection. Like right away, she wanted to be around me. Right away, she was kind of like, and I'm never the one to be like, yeah, and play into it. But she would be like, no, tell her mother, no, I want daddy to do it. I want daddy to do this. Hey, can daddy do this? Like she started calling me constantly. Like as soon as I get up in the morning, video chat. All day long while I'm working, sitting at the desk, video chat. I didn't record videos, but I got so many screenshots of it because I was just like, wow, like she can't get enough. You know what I mean? Like she just loves to be around me, and I loved it. Like every time I was around, like she would run towards me, and I have to be like, oh, slow down, because I'm thinking she's gonna trip over herself.
So she instantly became a daddy's little girl
instantly. Like it was literally instantly, and it just melted my heart right away. I've always wanted a family, more kids and stuff like that. So even though, it wasn't under the right conditions, it was still super, super great for me. Like I don't look at any type of family that it needs to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I believe it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you make the best out of that and you love the people that are there, and that's good enough for me.
Right.
So just having her there, I moved down here and my whole family, like my immediate family, my mother moved down here, my sister moved down here, my brother moved down here, all to be in her life and be around her and stuff like that.
So you all moved from New York?
From Newark, New Jersey to
Florida.
Florida, Orlando, Florida, yeah.
Orlando. And which is crazy listening to you talk about this, because you're talking about the connection you had with the baby, and mom tells you this, asks you for the DNA test, you do the DNA test. Personally, I would think she would have been excited. Okay, well, he's the father, we know he's the father, I know his character, but it was a different role, which makes no sense to me. So you moved down to Florida, you're in her life, and then
it's going all right for a while, like she's letting me do the phone calls with her, the video chatting. She's meeting me every once in a while in the park, like every other weekend or something, but she was making it like all on her time, when I can do it, when I get to it, like if I wanted to, like she never got to meet my mother before my mother passed away either, and my mother wanted to meet. That's the reason she came down here, to be grandma for her, and all that. And she wouldn't even let that happen,
Why? Did she give a reason for this behavior?
Yeah, when she wanted to. That's her daughter, and nobody else's daughter like that. I'm the dad, but it's still her daughter. And when her daughter goes nowhere without her, and whenever she's there, that's the only time anyone else is going to be around her daughter.
That's crazy.
Yes. She even told me one time, and I was like, this could be traumatic to her. She was like, no. She was like, I grew up without a father, and I look at me, I'm fine. And I'm like, no, you're not. In my mind, I'm like, no, you're not. This is not fine. This is crazy, really. You got somebody here that's actually trying to be there, being lovely, as lovely as I can to her other kids. I don't even have the money to do it. I'm just moving to a new state. Just get the job, just, in renting a room, is like, because I moved down here first alone, and little by little my family came. But so yeah, it's like she wouldn't give me no chance to like breathe or get going, it was just like, yo, right away. And I'm like, you had months pregnant to know you're gonna have a kid. You've had the kid now for over a year. You just dropped this bomb on me, and I'm here trying to comply. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to comply. You know what I'm saying? Why are you making this so hard? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that I didn't understand. I was like, just let me play the daddy role that I'm trying to do here, and that's it. And I won't bother you for nothing. I don't care about nothing else. I'm not looking to play any, you have your parties with her, I'll have my parties with her, And I think that's what she didn't really like either. She wanted to just have one thing at her place and that's it, And I wanted her to experience my world and my life and my things and the things I can show her on my way. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So it just went downhill from there, So I decided I was going to go the legal route, I said, let me just get this stuff in paper and everything. I put myself on child support.
Okay, so you did it. She didn't even do it.
No, she didn't even do it. I did it.
To give her cash.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, or like she would bribe me. Like one day when I did say, hey, can I bring her to my mom's house and stuff? And she was like, no, I need to get 4 new tires on my car. And I was like, but my car's fine. I was like, my car's fine. We could take my car. She was like, no, I said when my car. I didn't say your car. I didn't say nobody else's. I said my car.
Well, let me ask you, did you see any of these red flags before you had a child with her?
Like I said, we weren't a couple, so it wasn't one of those things where you plan and think about those type of things, At the end of the day, I hadn't had a kid since 15 years prior. I really thought it was the end of the road for that type of thing. and boom, so it was totally a shock. Like I said, I seen her, I said bye to her. I never thought I was going to see the mother ever again. I was like, okay, moving on with life.
Right.
Didn't even think about it. And then it just came again, it just popped up again. So,
well, she's a little blessing. She's a little blessing.
For me, she is 100%.
Right.
She's definitely got a great personality, very smart, very, aware, constantly.
Smile like on her face that I have up in the corner, like that you sent. The smiles. She looks like a happy girl.
Yeah, very happy, especially when I was there. I must tell you, like I felt like, and I'm sure because there's 3 kids over there, and and all that kind of stuff. She's probably overwhelmed sometimes. Any kid is, with life and screaming, probably yelling, kids, hey, get off that, as kids are. Huh?
You talking about the mom?
No, I'm talking about my daughter. Like even kids being in that type of environment, because I could see like when I would be on her phone. Not that it's a bad environment, but just when there's a lot of people in the house, you can get lost in the mix sometimes. That kind of feeling and stuff. And when I would be, and then I would come to the rescue in a way. Not in a bad way. Like downing what's over there, but just say like, hey, a break from this. Like, hey, look who it is. And he's only asking about me, and he wants to know what I want to know. And he's asking my feelings and my stuff, and it became about her. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was very appealing to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I don't think the mother liked that one bit. I think
all of the attention from her,
or just that. Yes, more that she was like happy with somebody else too. Like, hey, oh, he's here. Like I think that hurt her feelings that her daughter had that kind of look at somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy could protect me. This guy loves me. This guy cares for me. This guy got time for me. And I'm sure she feels that way about her mother. But, I don't discipline her. I don't hit her, like whatever, spankings. I don't, so I'm somebody new to the picture to her. I'm somebody fresh. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, she's going to be attached to that, I think at least.
But you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm almost 54, and when I say the sun rises and sets in my father, sun rises and sets in my father. So it's no competition between the parents. It's just a different relationship.
It's a different relationship. That's all it is. And I think it was uncomfortable for her because the last time I saw my daughter, we went to a ice cream parlor in Kissimmee. And we had a good time and everything. I actually that was the first time my son, we had a FaceTime with him and my daughter, and that's the first time they talk. He had bought her a Christmas gift, and she was like, oh, I love it. She was telling him, like, thank you so much. And, so that was a good moment. Then her mom was like, okay, we got to go. And so I'm bringing her to the car, and she's like begging me to follow her home. Like that part of the song, everything in the song is completely true. She literally is telling me like,
follow her home. Will she ever? Yeah. Will she ever know me? That part is so heartbreaking. It's like you're asking yourself, will she ever know me? Now you spend this time with her. Mom breaks out. Did you know she was leaving?
So the courts gave me my visitations, holidays, all kind of goodies, that I was so happy for. I literally was skipping like heel tapping, heel touching as I left the courtroom. I was so happy, and so May 28th comes, and that's the day I'm supposed to see my daughter, pick up my daughter for my first weekend with her. And I knock on the door, and her parents are like, oh, they moved, and we have no clue where they're at. Of course, I know they're lying, and I was like, come on, man, stop playing, man. Where is she? I was like, that's what's wrong with this? Like, what's wrong with her? Like, and they're like, I don't know. You got to talk to her. I'm like, how? So anyway, I called, I went to the sheriff's. I tried to file. I did file one court thing. They let me get to the courts. I'd let them know a writ was done. A writ is a child pickup where, like, if they do run into them, they'll pick up my daughter and bring her to court, and we'll have to do the whole court thing. Which to me now, at this age, would probably be traumatizing. Like, because I think at this age, like, she might not even know who I am literally anymore. That's why I put that on there. Like, because she was 3 years old. Like, it's hard to remember if somebody's not even bringing it up. There's no pictures, there's nothing. It's probably distracting you from the thought every time you bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever brings it up. It's just a guy who came and went, you know.
How old are
And
you?
about to be 8 in a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been almost about 4.5 years now that I haven't seen her.
No
And
contact whatsoever.
nothing. I've tried to, like, I can't get in front of a judge because you have to serve her to get in front of a judge, and I have no clue where she's at.
But can you serve her parents?
No, I have to serve her. I could take them, but they can't do nothing. They're gonna say they don't know. You know, there's nothing. She's the one. You know, so. But yeah, so you know, and then I've tried. At one time the child support unit lady helped me out a little bit, and sent me information that had her some information about her where she was at vetting in Hillside, Pennsylvania. So I contact people up there. I try to serve a warrant. You know, I call the sheriff's office. I'm like, look, this is the address that the child support office gave me. Can you serve her? They're like, oh, this is an out of state Florida warrant. We can only serve Pennsylvania warrants. Went got a judge. The judge didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what to do. I'm like, am I the first person in the history of this that is ever filing and, you know, trying to show an out of state? And the warrant says, like, if she's located anywhere, even inside or outside Osceola County in Florida, that she is to have a speedy trial and she's to be obtained and returned to the courts over here within 48 hours. That's the most of her legal problems. Like once they get it, they're just going to be like, okay, why did you do that for? Give him his rights, and then that's it. They're not going to do nothing to her. She's not going to face no time for this. She's not going to face anything.
Isn't that kidnapping though? Kidnapping.
Nope, they don't. They didn't say anything like that. I tried to say something like that. They were like, no, because she is the custodial parent. The most she's getting is like a violation, but it's not even anything of anything. The only thing that is bad against her, that if I wanted to file for full custody, this would be held against her, and I could win full custody. Something that I would never do to her, that because like that could be traumatizing for my daughter. Again, like I said, you know what I mean? Like it's all at the end of the day for my daughter. I still to this day pay child support, you know, every week.
What would happen if you stopped it?
I did, because I tried to get in front of a court like that. I was like, maybe I can get in front of a judge to at least somebody care. Nope, I got in there. They were like, sir, excuse me, if you're talking about anything other than how you're gonna pay this bill, we're gonna hold you in contempt of this court, and we're gonna suspend your license, and then you're gonna have to try this all over again.
And they will.
I get to even say another word, because she said, you say another word on that matter, one more word, and it's over. Your license is suspended.
And they will do that.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn, man, look how it is, man. I'm here. I put myself in all these legal binds trying to have my daughter in my life, and instead it just played out worse than I could have ever imagined. That's why I call the system in the song co-defendants. You know, they're her co-defendants, and the way I look at it, they're helping her keep my daughter away from me.
And everybody, go to the YouTube, go to LogicDGC and listen to the song "Half of Me." Jaylonis, it's really eye-opening.
That song, just to speak on that song a little bit. So I had I really had no path in figuring out how to contact my daughter. I really have lost kind of hope in, I haven't lost hope fully, but it kind of like I was down on it, and one day being in the, a recording studio constantly and stuff, I kind of started to get the itch to write again and stuff, because I haven't been writing in years. I gave up music in like 2008, 2009. I wrote here and there because I'm just an artistic person, a creative person, and I do it, but never for any other purpose than that.
Okay.
And I wrote, and I didn't set out, even when the beat was playing, I didn't set out to write a song about my daughter. I just started writing, and as you hear it is what came out, just as I started doing it. And then the next thing I know, customers, I let customers hear it, I let friends hear it, or anybody that walked through my business doors hear it. And I sent it to some friends, and people were telling me that they were crying, like literally they were like, yo, it touches me. That song is touching.
You can feel it. You can feel that you poured your heart out into this song. It's like
Yeah.
the saddest thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
So
here's this song.
yeah.
She's gonna feel like, how's she gonna feel about her mother? You know.
Well, this is, you know, and I don't want to bring ill, because that's why I don't even talk any ill about her in the song. You know, like I'm not even talking about. I talk like little why me's more, if anything, than you know, f you. You know what I mean?
You don't diss her in the
No.
music, but I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a little girl. Like, this song is out now. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. One day she's going to hear it.
Yeah, because her name. That's why I put her name in the title, so that if she does Google herself, this is gonna pop up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If she ever Googles herself, like, so, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing it. People were giving me feedback that I was not expecting. You know, like, yo, literally was watching people cry in front of me.
Right.
So I was like, wow. So I was like, if people are feeling like this, maybe I should do something with this song. Maybe I should put it out there. Maybe somebody's ears, this will land on somebody's ears that has a connection to a connection to a connection of something that might bring my daughter back in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no beef. I don't want to have no problems with them. I just want my daughter in my life. I'm not trying to do, look at you, what you've done to me. You know, I've already dealt with it. I'm feeling it. Her knowing it and empathizing with me doesn't even matter. I just care about my daughter.
Right.
So I've decided, you know, I did what I did. I put the song out. It's doing good. And excuse me, I'm hitting, you know, these interviews and stuff like that. So hopefully maybe the song can go viral, you know, and then it's everywhere. You know, if it gets everywhere, you know, then I don't think she'll be even able to hide from it. I don't think people will let her hide. You know, I think people will be like, yo, you are looking really bad right now. You know, like, let that man see his daughter. Let that man be a daddy to his daughter. And that's it. You know what I mean? And just, you know, so that's the game plan with all this.
Yeah, because like I said, you don't diss her, you don't bash her. I don't even think you mentioned her name in the song. So it's really all about you having access to your daughter, which I think is only fair. Your father who wants to be in his little girl's life, but down the road, once she hears that song and hears the story, oh, there's going to be resentment. She's going to resent her mother for this. Even though you don't want that, that's not what you want, but you can't control the way she takes the narrative up.
And that's fine. You know, I don't want her to, but it's fine if she does, because like I said, everybody has their own feelings in this world. And I don't try to tell people how to feel, you know, but you know, I would still, when I would talk to her, I would explain, I would play devil's advocate for her mother to her. Really? Just so my heart just so my daughter doesn't have ill wills in her heart.
Right. You're a good dude.
Well,
you are a good guy, because I don't know too many people that would do that, especially at this stage in the game.
It's horrible. Like, I do have my own resentments, you know, but I deal with it myself. You know what I mean? I deal with it and I let it go. You know, I feel that sometimes it comes and then it goes. You know, it comes and it goes. I'm a very forgiving person at the end of the day. You know, like I'm thinking in her world, she's not seeing herself as the bad person. She's seeing herself as a hero in some way. You know, like maybe she's like, this guy was never in a relationship with me. I have no clue who he really is.
Well, that's not on you though.
It's not. But I'm just saying, but I'm playing devil's advocate in the sense that, hey, you know, people make stupid decisions. I carjack somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's hard for me to really, you know, I always understand that there's a reason, you know, there's sometimes not the sinister reason that everybody may think inaction might be. You know what I'm saying? Even though it may be killing me. You know what I'm saying? That I'm losing this time with my daughter, you know, and the effect that I can put into her, you know, the knowledge, the love, the caring, the empathy that I want to instill in her, you know, to look at the world from a totally different angle than most people do, you know.
Through a forgiving lens.
Correct.
Okay. No, I hear you. Oh, you're a good dude. You're a good guy. I just want to let you know your mother raised you right. How do you stay motivated through this? Like, you're going through this daily, every day, all day, 365. How are you navigating without letting it crush you and weigh you down? Because even though you know she's out there somewhere, you're grieving because you have no access to it.
Correct. But the way I look at life is pretty much like this. We're no different than the ants and the roaches and the elephants and the tigers. They're all going through it. They live in constant fear of their lives every minute, worrying about being eaten or eating, you know.
Mhm.
We're no different. We're just going through it in our version of life, you know. And if these animals out there can do it, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I kind of look at it. I just get up every day, dust myself off, tell myself, we got it, we got this, and we just keep going, you know. And I think I've done pretty good. You know, I got my own business. I've been working for myself, you know, for the last 5 years now. You know, I got no bosses. I do everything for me and my and you know, my family. Even though she's not here yet, I do it for her, so that her, maybe my son, I can leave them something behind. You know, I come from, like I said, my parents were first time, you know, living in this world, and they've chosen due to their environment and upbringing and all the traumas and everything that they've went through, they made decisions that affected me, you know what I'm saying, and vice versa. And I don't hold nothing against them or anything like that. They did their best, you know what I'm saying, for what
right,
from what they had, you know. So you just gotta look at it, life like that, and keep moving forward. Get up every day, push your, you know, put your best face on, because there are people that care about you, even if it's a selfish care, you know, that's fine for me, you know what I mean. Come in, spend a little time with me, get a t-shirt from me, take some of my services, you know. And you know, we talk a little, we chop it up, talk about world and life, and you know, what more can I really ask for, you know, other than having my daughter, you know, my kids, you know. I'm good with that, you know, just doing what I'm doing.
That is so positive. That's a great way to look at it. That's a strong way. Not a lot of people can't look at things like that, especially when they're in the middle of the storm. You know,
Yeah.
but I commend you. Your daughter will see all of this stuff, and she'll see that, you know, at the end of the day, my dad represented, you know, like that's, you know, he always was a stand-up guy. You know, he did what he had to do for me. So you're a shining example for her when she does see all of this and get back in touch with you, because she will get back in touch with you. Like,
I hope so.
because she's gonna get older and she's gonna drive mom crazy, and mom is gonna be like, "Go to your father." You know how they do with the kids. I know
Yeah.
how I your mind. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she's gonna need a
I look forward to that day, you know. I look forward to that day when either she finds me, like I already feel she's 8 years old, you know, like she's about to turn 8. This is the kind of years, you know, I was already running around crazy, you know, like a little kid all over you know, I come from the Castle Hill projects, so I'm running up and down.
Castle Hill.
Huh?
My in-laws are from Castle Hill. Castle Hill and Wall.
Okay, I was down on the other end by Randall and Seward and those projects down that way. You know, it was I thought others would tell me I was living in a war zone trauma, you know, and traumatized by everything I went through. But for me, it was life, you know, like that's why I was living it. And I felt the pains and I felt things, but I was like, everyone's going through it. That is life, you know. Like, and so and that's how I look at the animals. If they can do it, like, and still get up every day, like a baby, like a calf could be born and he's eating right then and there in front of his mother, not even seconds after being born. They got to get up and have another baby. They have to keep going. They have to eat. They have to do what they have to do. So, you know, who are we, you know, to separate ourselves and think we're, you know, stronger than these animals that are, you know, roaming all around us?
I just need to know, how did you get like this? Something had to have happened to make you so popular. Where did this come from? Because I'm talking to you, I'm listening to you. I'm like, where did this come from?
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to make it past my childhood. You know, I didn't really, I felt death. My dreams were always about dying and death and things like that. I don't want to go too crazy because, you know, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings and stuff like that. But I had a pretty crazy childhood and a pretty crazy upbringing. And life wasn't, in my mind, I didn't think I was going to be here, you know. And also, you know, being brought up with a lot of Christian values, you know, even though I'm atheist, you know, I do have.
It's still ingrained in you. It's still in you.
I just believe I buy into. I buy into the philosophies of Jesus, you know, whether or not he existed or not. I buy into what I read. I don't buy into nothing else in the Bible. I don't buy into nothing else.
Okay.
But what he teaches, when the actual quotes, whether he existed or whether a wise person put that together and wrote those things, I 100% buy into all of that he says. And I look at his suffering or his tale of how he took to do the right thing and turn the other cheek and all those type of things.
Right.
So for me, it's just that kind of that's I believe that's the right way to be. I do call myself the atheist, the Christian atheist, you know. So
okay,
yes,
I like that. I do. I like that. Wow. So okay, so that answers that question for me. So what is on the horizon? What do you
got a lot going on. So I'm hoping that this weekend, and I think I kind of messed that up, but I think either within this week or within the next 10 days, I'll be shooting a video for it.
For this?
For this, for half of me, yes.
I was wondering if you were going to do a video.
Yes, I'm shooting a video. The only thing holding it back, so if anybody knows that's watching this, I'm looking for somebody that can do some like performative dancing, like, you know, like that with the hands, and that can like tell the story with their hands a little bit.
Praise dancers.
Yes.
Mind dancing.
I call it performative, but yes. And with a bonus if they can do it on roller skates. You know, like I see somebody on Instagram doing it, and it tells, to me, it's the perfect piece for the video, you know, to tell the story like that while I'm rapping it. And it's got a lot, like the video is going to be very touching as well. But that's going to be the first single off the album Chronicles of a Regular Degala. A regular Degala is a regular guy. A guy 9 to 5, a regular person trying to make it, not a rich person, not somebody that's got it his way. Just everybody that's out there, you, me, we're all out here trying to survive. And my music, like I told you, is thinking music. Like I got titles like Who Am I, Success, Half of Me, A Family, Your Life. You know, like these are the songs that I'm putting together. And
they're not out yet, right? Because the only one I didn't see those because I really want to hear them.
No, the ones that I have out that are also out there, they're old. They're from when I was in my gangster mode, you know, and stuff like that. But now, you know, my song "Who Am I" really touches on it. You know, the hook is, you know, real simple. It's just who am I? It's not who I'm supposed to be. It's who I am now. You know. We think we're supposed to be somebody because of where we are and who we're around, and we start taking on personalities and images, and we start being this other person, and it gets us in problems like carjacking and stuff like this, and just a lot of nonsense, you know, instead of being who we really are, you know. And I feel eventually I found who I am, you know. Okay. And in one line I say, I think I finally found out what I'm really about. And what I'm really about is love for my family, love for my friends. No, I said love for humanity, love for my friends, and those I call family. Yeah, I got love even for those who wish me tragedy. It's not that I want to, it's that it comes naturally. So naturally, I wore a mask to hide who I am actually. I say I don't give a fuck and try to act casually, but inside I'm feeling blasphemy. You know, so I'm basically...
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Yeah. So I found out like that's the kind of person I know who I am. And so that's who I try to push forward. You know, when I sit down, I look at myself, I self-evaluate, and I say, who are you? How do you feel about yourself? How do you want to react in this situation? Okay, now you got to be that guy. So that's who I am.
And it's crazy because I don't listen to rap music really. I don't, not really. But like your music, like the titles that you're naming, and this song right here, Half of Me, I would listen to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a gangster person, you know, I don't want to hear all of that. And everybody don't want to hear all that. They want to hear something with meaning and substance.
Yeah.
And that's what you're bringing.
Music especially is for the soul. You know, like people could play instruments and you could make you cry. You know what I'm saying? Like you could feel it. That's what's lost in a lot of the music, you know. So for me, I did have fun writing the kind of music that I used to write before, and I don't regret any of it or anything like that. But it's who I am then and it's who I am now. You know what I'm saying? So now I cater to more of this type of music, this type of thinking, people that want to just enjoy music, and it makes them think about themselves and their lives. You know, because the more people do that, you start to see like, oh man, we are very all alike in our own ways. We're all going through our own little journeys. And maybe if we're better to others, others will be better for us. A selfish love is a good love, believe it or not, because when you start to think like, I don't want this to happen to me, so you don't do it to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like it turns into that. You know what I'm saying? When you really start to care about yourself, that's why it's important you do love yourself and that you want the best for yourself. Because when you don't want the best for yourself, it's okay for you to hurt somebody else because you don't care if it happens to you, you know? So it's deep.
Yeah, it's real deep. That's real deep. More people should think like that.
Yo, it's more reality based. There's more reality based stuff.
All self-evaluation, like look deep inside, do a deep dive of yourself. Looking back on your journey, right? Everything you've gone through, because it's like crazy. We're wrapping up. What are you most proud of when you look back at everything that little kid growing up to the man you are today? What are you most proud of?
I guess I'm just gonna have to say my outlook on life. You know, I think that is able, because I speak like this to everybody. You know, like when you're here, you in trouble. Don't come here with your regular this typical frame of mind. No, I'm gonna break everything that you think, your stereotypes, your prejudices. I'm gonna crush them all. You know, so I believe that that's my best gift to the world. I'm writing a book actually to put a lot of this into into paperback so that it lasts forever. You know, and somebody may be able to gain something. And I look at it like saving your life, because when you're out here chasing everything, you lose yourself sometimes. You know, you lose what you're doing. And I feel that too many of us are on the hamster wheel, and we're living a life that is too short. You know what I'm saying? To just be chasing certain things. Go after your heart. Go after your dreams. Find out who the hell you are. Find out the life you really want to live, and go ahead and chase that. You got it. You got it in you. You just have to start reaching out to the right people. Start using Google. You have $1,000 phones. Start using it for more than texting and social media and all of that. Come on, you know what I mean? Like this is how, you know, this is how you got to do it. So I feel, hopefully I can get this book out eventually, and the message will be spread.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways now to get books done, all these different devices and things. And I was going to ask you what advice would you give to others facing similar challenges, but you kind of touched on it.
Yeah. Just got to look inside yourself, man. You know what I mean? And find out who you are. Start to love yourself. You know, and your outlook, even the harshest things. And I'm not going to say, like, even during this interview, I've had like 7 or 8 times that I've been choked up talking, you know, because I can hide it very well, but I'm even at this moment, you know, and it's okay to it be painful for you. You know, it's okay to feel the pain. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of life. It's one of the senses we've been given to experience this life. Deal with it, you know, and just, you know, it moves on. You move on from it, and you wake up tomorrow, and you try to have a better experience, and you do it the next day, and you try to have a better experience. And you know what? Look here I am. I still haven't had her in my life for 4.5 years, but here I am doing an interview. I got a song out with her. 2 years ago, did I think about this? No, it happened when it happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how people got to look at it. There's always hope. Keep your eyes, you know, looking up, keep your chin up, and just, you know, hope for the best.
Now, if by any chance ever she comes across this podcast, right, this conversation, is there anything you would want to say to her, like directly? Is there anything you would want to say?
That's tough, because
I'm sorry. It just happened when it just came to me.
No, I hear you. For me, I would not even probably have words. I would probably just be like, I just want you to know I want to love you. That's all I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because she's 8 years old already, you know, and who knows when, you know, I might not even have that daddy thing, that I can even position, you know what I'm saying? Like I might not, be that, but at the end of the day, I know she's mine, I know what I wanted from the relationship. I know what I wanted to give her. So just telling her, I just want to love you, you know what I'm saying? And what you make of that, whatever you want, and go from there.
You'll have it. I believe you'll have it. I believe that when she comes back into your life, you're going to pick up where you left off, so like, that's my prayer for you, that
Thank
everything
you.
works out. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for this, because I really didn't know where this was going to go. I didn't. And you're really a nice guy. You really are. And
Well,
yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that, and everybody, if y'all can, share, as much as you can, whenever you can, when you feel like posting it, when you're thinking about it, just post the song, give a listen. Hopefully, maybe if the song does good enough, I can, maybe get some good legal representation on this. I don't know, I'm hoping that this song, something great comes out of it. And if you guys can help me with that, I appreciate it so much. If you know anybody in the Orlando area that needs multimedia services or anything like that, that helps as well too. I do it all here, from audio and a video perspective, and graphic arts, and custom clothing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
All right. So I am going to share. It was a dope show, Shy. I am going to share that song on YouTube on my page. I don't know if they're going to catch it. Like I said, the copyrights or whatever.
You get the copyright. You could dispute it and say that you got the rights by me. They're gonna send me an email asking me if that's true, and I will say yeah.
Okay. And for those other people, like I said, go to YouTube. Go to the YouTube page and go to LogicDGC and look up Half of Me, and you'll hear this song. I mean, it's a touching song. It really is. So, and like you said, like, share, follow, and subscribe. Share. Tell a friend. You can catch this episode, like I said, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can also hear it on Zeno FM on this Thursday coming up at 8 a.m. on Culture Shock Radio, Rockbox Radio, Radio for Seattle, New Mexico, Wapta Music FM, Gnarly FM, which is in Ecuador, and on Sundays, Confidence Radio at 12 p.m. The show airs globally, 191 plus countries. So eventually, I see you hitting all the circuits, so it's going to get out there. So
That's the plan. And one last thing, you can also follow me on Instagram. That's me. I'm manning my own thing. It's Logic_DGC. You can always get me there as well too. For anything, if you're a lawyer, you want to do some pro bono, if you want to help me out, if you have a similar story, if you want to work together, whatever the situation may be, just hit me up.
That's Logic_DGC on Instagram. Follow him. Like, share, tell his story, get the word out there, because I'm sure there's more people that this has to they're going through this, but they're silently.
I believe so. And I do see posts of fathers and stuff, complaining or venting about, not having access to their kids. It's an epidemic, man. I just think they need to just, same penalties men get for not being good fathers and doing the financial stuff. I think when women do stuff like this, there should be penalties for this.
Exactly. Accountability. You can't just do that. So you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Tune in next week, next Thursday. Another great episode of Tea Time with Bunky. You all be safe. Stay hydrated during this heat wave. Drink lots of water.